my family runs a factory, and so originally I wanted to be an architect. But because of the family business, I thought it would be a better idea to actually study engineering. But I didn't really like engineering. I actually kind of hated engineering. So Columbia's program was the best because I really loved literature, I loved history, I loved philosophy. So it was kind of like a compromise. So it was a good way to tell my parents I'm studying engineering, but still doing all the other stuff that I liked. Yeah, without them realizing it. So they were paying for like an engineering education, but not really, right? So yeah, so that was why I chose Columbia, and obviously because it was in New York. Yeah, so I think in consideration, I think it was a good balance of everything that I wanted. Yeah, so I'm in the food business now also because I was here. I mean, there are actually quite a few Columbia alums in Singapore who run pretty famous bars and restaurants in Singapore. Yeah, so I think a lot of us were affected the same way. So I think that's one of the takeaways, you could say, from our education. Yeah.
So what made you change career paths? I mean, you weren't really interested in engineering, and
So, but I did it for at least 15 years before I started thinking about doing something else. And it was really about, like, so I was about 36, 37 then, and I started to think about my legacy. So I was wondering what I was leaving behind, and the way it was. So with the family business, it was really easy. I was just really trying to follow, my father's footsteps, go through the motions in a way. So it's really quite easy for me. Not a lot of pressure, but I wasn't really achieving a lot. So I started thinking about what I wanted to leave behind, and then I started thinking about what I wanted to do, and one was architecture. And so with the bar that we started, it was not just because it was not just a bar. It was a bar that was built using a modular structure that I invented. So we are able to put up a room within a 3 meter by 3 meter room. So about, let's see, there'll be about 9 feet. Yeah, by 9 feet room in 1 hour. So we were able to build this. So the idea was to take that structure and plant it anywhere with space. So you could have a rooftop, which is where we are, on a rooftop on a building. It could be in a park, which originally was where we wanted to go. So the idea was to kind of put this structure within an environment, but not to kind of alter it so much. And so when you actually also move it away from that space, the space can be returned to what it was before. Yeah, so that's why it's called organic chemistry. So there's a Columbia link because of, I'm not sure if you heard of Orgo Night.
Yes, oh, I love it.
Yeah, so that came from that, and so the idea was because it's a bar, with the bartenders doing things in the bar, the organs are basically all spirits. We use fresh fruits and vegetables, so everything is an organic compound. So it's organic chemistry because you're mixing organic compounds in a lab and coming up with new things and new drinks. So we kind of wanted to play on that idea, but also because originally the whole bar was supposed to be organic. You could actually theoretically move each structure around if you wanted to, but we realized we couldn't because building codes didn't allow us to kind of move things around too much. Yeah, so, but the idea was to kind of do something a bit different. So it went into some things I really liked, which is food, architecture. We actually showed this at a few exhibitions around the world. Art exhibitions, design exhibitions. I showed it in a museum in Japan last year. So it's also partially art. So it's kind of taking all the stuff that I learned in Columbia, with engineering, with the core, with art hum, yeah, and kind of combining them into some of the ideas we have.